The water is boiling. Lena, honey, I'll plug in the kettle, okay? What are you doing out in the yard all this time? I'm already exhausted from all the cooking and cleaning. Just bear with me, I'm working, not playing around. I'm rushing to trim and shape this kumquat pot for Tet. If I don't, Mr. Nine will be angry and won't buy it for his fresh, new display. Every year it's the same, we barely sell anything. Who even buys kumquats and peach blossoms these days anyway? Hugh just smiled, shrugging off his wife's words, and continued to meticulously care for the kumquat pots. Actually, this wasn't just his profession, it was his passion. Back when his grandfather and father were alive, every year from May to June, everyone would start pruning branches and cultivating kumquat roots. By the 11th lunar month, they would carefully pluck leaves, staying up all night by the fire to keep them warm. Then, at the right season, they would take them to the market to sell. A few years ago, his grandfather passed away from old age, and his father followed a few years later due to cancer. It's true that nowadays, people don't consider buying a kumquat pot essential, as there are many more affordable options. Yet, Hugh didn't want to abandon his trade because it was the only way he could preserve his memories of his father and grandfather. As for providing for his wife and child, he managed by taking on many other jobs besides cultivating kumquats. During the harvest seasons, everyone who knew Hugh described him as an industrious man, while Lena and her husband's younger brother, though they grumbled, were equally hardworking. The couple had been married for over a year. They met through a relative of Hugh's. Lena usually managed the household chores and cooking, and also helped out at a friend's breakfast stall in the market. The two of them earned a modest income, but Lena, instead of saving, spent it all on gold. Every time she saw the price of gold rise, she'd become very excited. However, she was always careful to warn her husband not to tell anyone, as there were countless dishonest people around these days, and if they found out, they might attempt a robbery. Back in the present, Hugh was busy when he heard the gate being pushed open, followed by the shuffling sound of footsteps. Turning to look, he recognized Mr. Nine, his next-door neighbor. Mr. Nine, "Ah, Hugh, those kumquat trees are looking mighty fine. This year's Tet display is going to be impressive." Hugh, "Oh no, sir. This year I only managed to gather about 10 trees. I'd be thrilled if I could sell half of them. Will you support me and buy one, Mr. Nine?" "Mr. Nine, is that all? I'm happy to. Just pick out the prettiest pot, bring it over, and I'll pay you for it." Hugh, "Oh, thank you, sir. I'll give you a discount to bring good luck." "Mr. Nine, if you want good luck, you have to charge the full price. Discounting it loses its value." "Ah, yes, are you free tomorrow afternoon?" Hugh, "Tomorrow afternoon? I have some errands to run at a relative's house, but I should be done by late afternoon." "Why, sir?" "Mr. Nine, it's nothing much. My old dog, Ink, is getting really old. I'm planning to give him a proper send-off. I've already persuaded Matt and Dan, just need you to come over and join the fun." Hugh, "Oh, that sounds wonderful. I'll come over as soon as I finish my work, okay?" Mr. Nine, "Yes, remember. At a good time, there'll be a pot of stew, perfect for drinking with right." After a few more words, Mr. Nine turned and left, continuing to tend to his kumquat pots. Hugh walked inside, not forgetting to glance at the kitchen where his wife was preparing dinner. "Hugh, smells wonderful. What are you making for me tonight?" "Lena, it's just the leftovers, dear, nothing new." Hugh, "Oh, my dear, everything you make is delicious to me. Go take a shower, you're covered in dirt and sweat." After Lena had bathed, Hugh saw her setting the dinner table in the living room. He sat down, pulled the rice pot closer, and scooped out some rice. Lena, as if remembering something, asked, "Who were you talking to out in the yard earlier?" Hugh, "Oh, that was Mr. Nine, our neighbor. He ordered a kumquat pot, and he invited me over tomorrow. He's probably going to slaughter his dog, Ink, isn't he?" Lena, "Ink, why would he slaughter him? He's old. That's just how it is in this village, dear. You should come over tomorrow, too." Lena, "Oh, that's sickening. He's raised that dog for so long, and now he's going to kill it. Please don't go there and stop eating dog meat altogether. There's nothing healthy or beneficial about it." Hugh, I know. I usually restrict it, but it's rare for neighbors to gather like this. I'll just go over for a little while." Knowing she couldn't stop her husband, Lena just sighed and shook her head, giving up. Time flew by, and by early afternoon the next day, Hugh had finished his errands at his acquaintance's house and drove back to Camley Village. Attached to his car's ignition key was a bottle of glutinous rice wine. This was a top-grade batch, and he had to search 3 different places to find it. Mr. Nine hadn't asked him to buy it, but it was Hugh's nature. Whenever he went to a party or someone's house, he didn't like to go empty-handed. Upon arriving home, he parked the car, grabbed the wine bottle, and was about to head to Mr. Nine's house when he heard Lena's voice. "Lena, where are you going?" "Hugh, what's wrong? I'm going to Mr. Nine's house. I told you already, didn't I?" "Lena, you're still going after what I said." "Hugh, what's the big deal? I'm going now. You can have dinner first. I'll be home early tonight." "Lena, remember that. If I get sleepy, I'll lock the door and you'll have to suffer outside, okay?" When Hugh arrived at Mr. Nine's house, he saw Matt, another neighbor, tirelessly pulling straw from a pile in the yard, while Mr. Nine used water to clean the white cement patio in front of his house. "Mr. Nine, Hugh, you're here. How are the preparations coming along, everyone?" "Hugh, sorry, I just finished my work. Is it okay?" "Mr. Nine, it's fine. I just got here myself. Now we're just waiting for Dan to come over so he can kill and roast the dog. He's the only one of us who's really good at it." "Matt, Mr. Nine, this knife is sharp, isn't it? Can I pour you some wine, sir?" "Mr. Nine, oh, you rascal. Why do you always bring so many things when you come over?" "Matt, it's nothing, sir. I feel awkward coming empty-handed." Hugh immediately waved his hand. "Hugh, no, everyone's different. Remember when we drank at my place last time? You brought half a roasted pig and other stuff. Are you feeling sensitive now? Just drink a lot and you'll forget all about it." Hugh's words made everyone laugh. Just then, someone rushed through the gate. "Mr. Nine, oh, it's you, Tom. I thought Dan had arrived." Mr. Nine clicked his tongue. The person who had just arrived was Tom, his son. Tom worked as a manager at a garment factory in town. "Mr. Nine, you're only just getting home now." "Tom, hello, father, hello, both of you. Things at the factory were hectic. I rushed home as soon as my shift ended." "Mr. Nine, hello, Tom. I heard you have a high salary, around 20 million. "Tom, oh no, not that much. My salary is just enough for my expenses and to send some money to my parents." Mr. Nine glared at his son. "Mr. Nine, damn it, I don't need your money. What I need is for you to quickly bring home a girl for me to meet. How old are you this year? Look at Hugh, Matt, and Dan. They're all your age, and they all have wives and children already. And you." Hearing this, Tom quickly said, "Father, please, today is a happy occasion, don't nag me. I'll find a girl and introduce her to you, I promise. If I don't, you can prepare to move out this year." "Tom, father, I'm going inside to shower now." As Tom went into the house, Mr. Nine looked towards the gate with a worried expression. "Mr. Nine, why isn't Dan here yet? Someone call him, maybe he drank too much somewhere and fell asleep." Mr. Nine took out his old black-and-white phone from his pocket and started dialing Dan's number. But before he could call, Dan arrived, pulling up on his moped, shirtless. "Dan, hello, Mr. Nine. Hello, everyone." "Mr. Nine, oh, you rascal, why are you so late?" "Dan, I was just out in the fields. It was so hard cleaning the fish ponds, so much mud. I probably had to jump into the pond for an hour to clear it. I barely had time to do anything before coming here. I didn't even have time to put on a shirt, I just rushed over." "Mr. Nine, all right, no more time to waste. Go take care of Ink. I tied him to the post behind the house. Just hit him on the head, then use boiling water to clean him, it's easier." Dan parked his moped in the corner. From inside the house, Mrs. Nine walked out. "Mrs. Nine, Mr. Nine, are you still planning to kill Ink?" "Mr. Nine, woman, are you starting trouble again? Today is a happy day, don't ruin my mood." "Mrs. Nine, all right, I'll leave you to it. I'm going to my mother's house." Before Mr. Nine could finish his sentence, Mrs. Nine put on her conical hat, grabbed her jacket, and rode off on her bicycle. Matt waited until she was gone before approaching Mr. Nine and whispering, "Matt, Mr. Nine, what's wrong with Mrs. Nine? She seems quite upset." "Mr. Nine, she doesn't want me to kill Ink. She says she considers him like a child or grandchild in the house. But think about it, a dog treated like a person? Isn't that backwards? And it's getting old, so it'll die soon anyway. Why not give it a proper send-off before then? No waste, and it can reincarnate sooner. Don't you think that's right? Matt immediately interjected. That's how it's always been. It's not like it's a new thing. No sooner had Matt finished speaking than a strong, unpleasant smell reached their noses. Not just Hugh's, but also Mr. Nine's and Matt's. Hugh, is that Dan? Mr. Nine, yes, what's wrong? When the three men rushed to the backyard, they found Dan sprawled on the ground, his face contorted in pain, his left hand clutching his blood-soaked right hand. Mr. Nine, my goodness, why are you bleeding so much? Dan, that damn dog Ink bit me. Mr. Nine then looked around, but Ink was nowhere to be seen. Mr. Nine, where's Ink? Dan, he ran into the backyard, he's gone. Mr. Nine, gone? What do you mean? I don't understand. He was tied up and lying still. I thought he was just tired, so I got careless. I went to untie him, and as I ran up to hit him on the head, he suddenly struggled, bit my hand, then broke free from the rope and ran into the backyard. Hugh then added, let's talk about that later. Mr. Nine and Matt, please help me get Dan to the medical station for an injection and first aid. He's bleeding too much, it's horrifying. Mr. Nine nodded, and Hugh didn't hesitate. He bent down to help his friend up. Dan winced, clutching his hand, and hissed, damn it, when you catch him, remember to let me be the one, Mr. Nine, to personally smash his head. A little while later, after Hugh had taken Dan to the medical station for bandages and an injection, he received a call from Mr. Nine. Hugh, hello, Mr. Nine. I'm listening, how is he? Mr. Nine, it's nothing serious. The bite was a bit deep, but only soft tissue was affected. Dan just received his 3 vaccine shots, 1 now and 2 more, 1 every 2 weeks. But where's Ink? Have you caught him? Mr. Nine, no. Matt and I searched the backyard for ages but couldn't find him. He must have slipped through a hole near the trash pile and run off to the swamp. But don't worry, even without Ink, I'm about to slaughter one of my own ducks I've been raising. You and Dan, once you're done there, just come back here and eat. Hugh, eat duck, sir. Mr. Nine, yes, eat and rest. The original plan is still on. Tell Dan too, okay? Just come back and I'll send you the money for the vaccination. Hugh, yes, I'll tell him. The call ended. Hugh turned to Dan. Does it still hurt? Dan, just a little throbbing. Hugh, all right, let's go. I'll drive you back to Mr. Nine's house. Dan, so has he caught Ink yet? Hugh shook his head coolly. Hugh, what Mr. Nine said, you just heard it. Dan's face instantly showed his frustration. Damn it! If I get my hands on that evil creature, I won't give him a gentle send-off. Hugh, come on, he's just a dog. Don't be so overly aggressive. By nightfall, Hugh and Dan arrived at Mr. Nine's house. Mr. Nine, along with Tom and Matt, were already seated on a mat spread under the awning. In the center was a chopping board with a duck braised with ginger. The fragrant smell wafted into Hugh's nose, making him salivate. Hugh, oh wow, this dish is just as good as dog meat, if not better. Mr. Nine waved to Dan. Dan removed his bandages, sat down, and pointed to his bandaged hand. Dan, luckily, no bones or tendons were affected. But Mr. Nine, promise me this. When you catch Ink, call me first, all right? I want to be the one. Mr. Nine, of course. If I don't call you, who else would I call? Who else here is as brave as you? Remember that, okay? Hugh, all right. Take a seat, everyone, and let's start the feast. Tomorrow's a day off, so no one has any pressing commitments, right? Everyone, yes, sir. Hugh, then tonight, we must have a real drinking battle. If you drink too much, just sleep over. Don't use staying sober to drive home as an excuse. Matt nodded vigorously. This round, Mr. Nine, rest assured, no one's leaving. Come on, brothers, let's drink. And so, the 5 men drank toasts to each other until almost midnight. By then, the wine was mostly gone. Mr. Nine, all right, that's enough for now. The kids and I should get going. Mr. Nine, what do you mean, get going? We still have wine left. Let's get 2 more bottles. Tom, go buy some more wine. Tom, oh, father, that's enough. Look at Matt and Dan, their eyes are barely open. And Hugh will go home early or his wife will lock him out after midnight. Mr. Nine sighed dramatically. You're right, you weaklings. A man must have his say, damn it. Back in my day, and even now, I don't need anyone's permission for anything. Mr. Nine threw his head back and laughed heartily, but after a few more sentences, the party finally ended. Hugh, feeling a bit wobbly, made his way home. Luckily, when he arrived, he could still see a faint light emanating from inside the house through the crack in the door. Taking a deep breath, Hugh called out, "Lena, honey, please open the door for me." As soon as he finished speaking, Hugh heard footsteps and his wife's irritated voice. "Lena, so you finally decided to show your face? Why didn't you just sleep over there? Do you know what time it is?" Hugh rubbed the back of his head. "Come on, my dear, I tried to get back as early as I could. But please, open the door for me. It's late out here and the wind is cold. What if I catch a cold?" Despite her words, Lena opened the door. Seeing her husband, she broke into a smile and reached out to hug him, but Lena immediately pushed him away. "Lena, hug what? I don't like people who eat dog meat. Stay away from me." "Hugh, hey, I didn't eat dog meat. Don't lie. You clearly told me yesterday that you were going to Mr. Nine's house to slaughter ink, and now you're saying you didn't." "Hugh, it's true, but there was a bit of an incident, so we ended up slaughtering a duck instead." "Lena, is that true?" "Hugh, it's true." Hugh recounted everything. After listening, Lena clicked her tongue and said, "I think you all got off lightly. That'll teach you not to eat dog meat again. What's so good or healthy about it? I think Ink is a gentle dog who knows how to guard the house. The first time I went over there, he would growl, but after a few more times, he knew I was a regular at Mr. Nine's house, so he would wag his tail happily and rub against my legs. How could you bear to kill such an intelligent dog? It's beyond me." "Hugh, well, it's their business, and besides, they haven't killed him yet. Let's not talk about Mr. Nine anymore. Go to the room first, and I'll close the doors and wash up before joining you." Lena was still quite annoyed, but didn't forget to warn her husband. "Just wash your face, okay? Don't take a shower." Hugh just chuckled to himself. After his wife went into the room, he took the bunch of keys and went out to lock the gate. When he got there, Hugh exclaimed, "Good heavens, why is it suddenly so cold?" Just then, he heard a series of sounds in his ears, like a dog howling. "Hugh, it must be Ink. You got lucky today, but not for long. I advise you to run wherever you can, but if you go back to Mr. Nine's house, it'll be the end of you." After locking the gate, Hugh went back inside and checked all the doors. He washed his face, then went into the room and embraced his wife, falling asleep. The next morning, Hugh woke up quite late, with the sun high in the sky and the clock showing 8 o'clock. He frowned, rubbing his forehead. "Hugh, such a headache. I distinctly remember buying glutinous rice wine yesterday. Or did the seller trick me? Why else would I feel so terrible?" After lying in bed for a while longer, Hugh sat up and got out of bed. He stepped outside and looked around, but Lena was nowhere to be seen. He looked in the corner of the yard but didn't see his wife's scooter. So, Hugh guessed Lena had gone to the market and would be back later. After washing his face in the bathroom, he felt somewhat more alert. The first thing Hugh did was to go out to the garden to tend to his kumquat trees. After a while, Hugh heard the gate creak open. He turned around. "Hugh, you're back. Let me open the gate. Are you planning a party today, buying so many things?" "Lena, what party? I'll be busy for the next few days and won't have time to go to the market, so I bought everything at once to store in the fridge." "Hugh, busy with what? Why didn't you tell me?" "Lena, oh, come on, I told you yesterday, didn't I? Did you forget? Oh, right, you were so drunk. My aunt on my mother's side has an order for hundreds of cakes, and I have to go there to help. I'm even worried I won't have time. If I'm too busy, I won't be able to come home, and you'll have to take care of your own meals." "Hugh, I understand. And one more thing, don't think that just because I'm not home, you can go out drinking and partying, okay? You know what happens if you do." "Hugh, I know, no more drinking. I've had enough for a few rounds already, but now I have a terrible headache." "Lena, really, you're so fragile, can't handle one night of drinking." "Hugh, I'm telling the truth. Oh, and yesterday, you mentioned that Dan was bitten by Mr. Nine's dog, Ink, and had to get vaccinated, right?" "Hugh, yes. That's why it got away, and everyone ended up eating duck instead of dog meat. Lena, but why are you asking? Because this morning I met Van, Dan's wife, and she seemed very rushed, so I asked her what was wrong. When I called, I found out she just ran back from the medical station to get money to pay for her husband's hospital fees. Hugh, what's wrong with Dan? Why is he at the medical station again? I don't know, I just heard Van say that the bite might have gotten infected. He had a fever and was delirious, even convulsing. Good heavens, is that true? Lena, that's just what I heard. I was heading to the market, and she was going home, so I don't know anything more. Hugh, I should call him to check. Yesterday, the bite wasn't that bad, and he got all his shots. Lena, injections are injections, but they're not absolutely safe. Luckily, it wasn't you, but Dan. Oh, stop talking nonsense, go inside and put away the groceries. After Lena was done, Hugh quickly took out his phone to call his friend. But all he got was a continuous ringing tone. At noon, after lunch, Hugh called again, but the result was still the same. Worry grew in his heart. He immediately went out, got on his bicycle, and rode towards Dan's house. The distance between the two houses wasn't too far, only about 600–700 meters. Upon arriving, Hugh looked inside and saw that all the doors were locked from the outside. He muttered to himself, "What's wrong with this guy?" He was about to go to the medical station to find out when he paused, seeing Dan's wife and Dan driving back from afar. Van was in front, while Dan sat behind, huddled and wrapped in a thick wool blanket, which was even stranger. After the car stopped in front of the gate, Hugh immediately spoke up. "Hugh, Van, what happened to Dan that he had to go to the medical station?" Van, "Oh, Hugh, how did you know my husband went there?" Hugh, "My wife told me earlier. I tried calling Dan to check on him, but couldn't get through." Van, "Oh, I met Lena at the market this morning, yes." Van then turned back to look at her husband with a worried expression. "I don't know what to say. He still has a fever, and he only just woke up after being unconscious for a long time. The doctors there tried to keep him, but he insisted on coming home, meaning I had no choice but to bring him back here." Hugh, "Good heavens, are you crazy? If Dan is sick, he should stay at the hospital for care. Or are you afraid of the cost? I remember you have insurance, it shouldn't cost much. Listen to me, just take him back there so they can." But before Hugh could finish his sentence, Dan looked up and then just stared blankly. That gaze truly startled Hugh. He stammered, "What's wrong with you?" Dan then mumbled weakly, "I'm fine, you go home, I just want to rest now." Hugh, "Oh, what's wrong with you too?" Without waiting for Hugh to say anything more, Dan got out of the car, automatically unlocked the gate, and walked inside. When he disappeared from view, Van shook her head and sighed. "Oh, Hugh, let me tell you. Dan insisted on leaving the medical station on the way here. I tried to persuade him until my tongue hurt, but I couldn't. Sometimes, I wonder if it was the dog bite that affected his mind or something else." Hugh, "Oh, I think it's probably nothing serious. Dan's always been like that. He's probably feeling a bit better and is afraid of spending money. I have to go now. If Dan gets better, please remember to tell him to call me, okay?" Van, "Yes, sir, I understand. Thank you for your concern." Hugh, "Oh, it's nothing to thank me for. We're all neighbors. I'm going now." With that, Hugh temporarily ended the conversation, got on his bicycle, and rode off. However, he didn't know that at that moment, from a side window of Dan's house, Dan's eyes were furtively peeking out. Time quickly passed, and by late afternoon, Hugh was setting up a series of lights to keep his kumquat pots warm overnight. He had heard the weather forecast. From today until the end of next week, a cold front with frost would arrive. From Hugh's experience, he knew that without proper measures, these kumquat trees wouldn't bloom on schedule. "Lena, honey, are you done? Come eat dinner." Hugh, "Oh, I'm coming right now." "Lena, honey, someone's calling." Hugh, "Who's calling? It sounds like Dan." Hearing the name, Hugh immediately walked over. "Hugh, Dan's calling." "Lena, yes, he's calling now, go ahead." Hugh nodded and picked up the phone. "Hello, I'm listening." He expected a cheerful response from his friend, but instead, Hugh heard a weak, breathless voice. "Dan, Hugh, are you free?" Hugh, "What's wrong? What's going on?" Dan, I have something to tell you. You have to believe me, okay?" Hugh, "Hey, what is it? Just say it quickly. Oh, come on, you're making me uncomfortable. Well, never mind, it's nothing. I'm busy now. Let's talk later, okay? Before Hugh could finish his sentence, the call ended. Seeing his husband's furrowed brows, Lena became curious. Lena, what did Dan call about? He sounded so upset. Hugh recounted the conversation to his wife. Lena then clicked her tongue. Lena, what's so hard to understand? I think Dan wants to borrow money. Hugh, borrow money? What else could it be? Don't tell me you haven't realized it. But I'm telling you now, Tet is coming soon. Don't lend anyone money. We don't want a repeat of last year. Do you remember lending money to Mr. Vu in the next village? On the 27th or 28th of Tet, we still had to go over there, begging people to pay us back as if we were asking for charity. Hugh, I know, but I don't think Dan would borrow money. Just the other day, he was showing off that he had 10 or 20 million saved up for Tet. Who knows, what if he gambled it all away? Lena, I'm telling you now, if you use our household money to lend to him, you'll regret it. Oh, for heaven's sake, stop talking about it. Let's eat now, I'm starving. Here. Despite saying that, Hugh still felt an indescribable unease about his friend's strange behavior. A little later, when it was darker, Hugh and Lena had finished locking up and were watching TV. This entertainment program was Lena's favorite. She watched it every week. Hugh wasn't interested, but he sat with her out of indulgence. As he was yawning, he suddenly heard his phone ring. Looking at the screen, Hugh frowned. It's him again? After a moment of hesitation, he picked up. Hello. What is it now? On the other end, it was still Dan's weak voice. I'm so tired. Hugh, tired? Are you having a fever again? Is anyone home with you? Why don't you go back to the medical station? I already told you to stay there, but you insisted on coming home, crying about it. Dan, I'm not tired and I'm not sick either. Oh, it's weird, what do you mean? Dan, I don't think I'm okay, you have to believe me. Listen, I need to tell you, I dreamt of Ink, Mr. Nine's dog. Hugh, what? What do you mean you dreamt of him? Dan, let me tell you everything from the beginning. Last night when I got home, I was so drunk that I passed out on the mat and fell into a deep sleep. In my trance, I saw him standing in Mr. Nine's backyard. Nearby, I saw a hoe. I grabbed it, intending to hit him. But then, he suddenly stood up on his two hind legs. He was huge, probably 2 meters tall. He bared his teeth and lunged at me, tearing off my arm. I was so scared that I woke up with a start. Before I could even collect myself, I felt my whole body turn cold. That's when my wife took me to the medical station, thinking everything was over. But once I was at the medical station, after taking fever medicine and closing my eyes, I kept seeing Ink's ghostly image again and again. I woke up feeling uneasy, so I insisted on coming home. I tried to tell you, but I was afraid you wouldn't believe me. Do you know what? Just recently, I saw him again, but not in a dream. I saw Ink standing on the straw pile in my yard, his eyes glowing red like glowing embers, staring straight at me. I was so scared, Hugh. That thing, it knows exactly who to scare. Are you playing a trick on me? No way, who believes in such things nowadays? Go on, if you don't have anything else to say, I'm hanging up. No, you have to believe me. I feel like I can't listen anymore. So Hugh hung up. That guy is crazy. Lena, oh, what's wrong, honey? Is Dan trying to borrow money again? Hugh, he's not borrowing money. He's talking about ghosts and crazy things because he has a high fever and is delirious. Just keep watching TV, dear. Hugh seemed to dismiss the story his friend had just shared. The next day, Lena had to go to her relative's house to help make cakes, leaving Hugh home alone. He became lazy, didn't cook anything, just ate a bowl of instant noodles, then went to a coffee shop to kill time, waiting to see if anyone would call him for work. When he arrived at the shop, he chose a table in the corner, waved, and ordered, "A black iced coffee, no sugar, please." Coming right up. Just as Hugh was about to check the news on his phone, a figure walked in from outside. "Matt's Hugh, hey Hugh, over here." Hugh looked up and recognized Matt, his friend. "Hugh, Matt, you're not working today." "Matt, no, haven't you heard the news?" "Hugh, what news?" "Matt, the news about Mr. Nine's dog, Ink." "Hugh, oh, did they catch him?" "Matt, no, not yet. But since yesterday, a few people have come to Mr. Nine's house to complain. They said Ink bit them, and Mr. Nine had to apologize and pay compensation." "Hugh, good heavens, is that true?" "Matt, yes. So today, Mr. Nine and Tom, along with a few others, went to set traps. But how will they afford to pay compensation to everyone? Are you free? Come with us so they don't get angry at me. Hugh, all right, I'll go. But when it's almost noon, I'll have to take the afternoon off and come back. Everyone can split up and search. Now I'm going to check on Dan. I don't know what he's doing or if he's even home. Hearing Dan's name, Hugh shook his head. Leave him be, he's sick and can't join us. Matt, oh, is that so? No wonder he's been missing since yesterday. How sick is he? Hugh, I don't know. You should go visit him yourself. Matt, why do you seem so upset? Despite his curiosity, Matt, probably due to the urgency of their task, quickly nodded to Hugh and turned to leave. By noon, as Matt had told him, Hugh rode his bicycle to Mr. Nine's house. Upon arrival, he saw about a dozen people in the yard. Mr. Nine, Hugh, come on in, son. Hugh, hello, Mr. Nine. Hello, everyone. With such a large force, I guess Ink will truly be given a send-off today. Mr. Nine nodded gravely. We absolutely must find him, otherwise, things will get complicated. Do you know, just yesterday alone, I spent several million to compensate people. Luckily, they only asked for part of it. If they had demanded full compensation, it would have ruined Tet for me this year. Hearing his father, Tom interjected, Father, you don't have to worry about that evil creature. Even if it dies 100 times, it won't be enough. Today, I'm determined to mince it into oblivion. Let's all split up, 2 or 3 people per group, and search around our village and the next one. Whoever finds it, just deal with it and bring it back. There will be rewards, no need for money or anything costly. We'll just slaughter Ink and have a feast with plenty of food, and dozens of liters of wine for everyone to drink their fill, okay. A moment later, Hugh and Matt set off, heading straight towards the beginning of the village. They circled around, but saw no sign of Ink. There were only 2 of them. By the time everyone gathered back at Mr. Nine's house, Hugh learned that no one had seen Ink. Matt then became curious. Matt, Mr. Nine, what do we do now? Mr. Nine, I don't know, damn it. Are we just going to let a dog get away with this? Matt, no, it's not just an ordinary dog. Just then, a figure walked in from outside. Hugh, isn't that Dan? Mr. Nine, it is him. Mr. Nine, my goodness, Dan, is that you? Why do you look so pale and weak? Dan shook his head immediately. Dan, my problem isn't important anymore, Mr. Nine. Now, you must quickly find a shaman. That dog Ink has become a spirit. Mr. Nine, what? Are you crazy? What are you saying? Dan then recounted everything exactly as he had told Hugh on the phone last night. In response to Dan's story, everyone burst into skeptical laughter. Mr. Nine, good heavens, Dan, are you playing a prank? Dan, no, everyone, you have to believe me. I'm telling the truth. You must believe me. Mr. Nine, oh, this is too much. You're sick, go home and rest. Mr. Nine frowned. And as for the rest of you, let's gather again tomorrow to continue the hunt. Thank you all for helping me today. Hugh, no problem, Mr. Nine. We're all from the same village. After a few more words, the crowd began to disperse. Hugh noticed his friend Dan with a shifty look on his face, glancing nervously around as if he were afraid of something. At that moment, 2 thoughts crossed Hugh's mind. One was to go and check on his friend, but the second was that he didn't want to hear any more fantastical stories. Before he could make a decision, Dan turned and walked away, disappearing from sight. A moment later, Hugh returned home. Since Lena wasn't there, he didn't plan to cook. He just boiled some water for instant noodles. Hugh then called his wife. Hughes, hello, are you there? How's work going? Can you come home? Lena, I probably can't. Everything's still a mess here. I thought there would be many helpers, but there are only 4 of us. Remember to check all the doors at home, okay? Be careful. There have been quite a few thefts lately. If you're careless, things will disappear instantly. Hugh, oh, I know. You should rest. Don't overwork yourself and get sick, okay? Lena, I know, dear. With that, the call ended. Time passed until the next morning. Hugh was showering and getting ready to go to the district town for a relative's wedding. The service owner had called Hugh to help out. For such an occasion, he would earn 200,000 dong for a half-day's work, and sometimes the hosts would even invite him to stay for the party. Having prepared everything, He got on his bike and was about to lock the gate when he heard a voice calling from behind. Matt, hey Hugh, where are you going? Hugh turned around and saw Matt, his friend. Hugh, Matt, is that you? I'm going to set up a wedding canopy for someone this morning. Matt, oh really? So you won't be able to go to Mr. Nine's house to catch ink? Hugh, yeah, I probably won't make it back in time. You guys just go ahead and help them out. It's just a dog, but it's causing so much trouble. Matt then nodded. Oh, there's something else. Earlier, I passed by Dan's house and saw him setting up some kind of offering. I was curious, so I went in to ask. Do you know what he's doing? Hugh, how would I know? He hired a shaman to exorcise something, claiming that ink had become a spirit. He must have eaten something strange. Hearing this, Hugh chuckled. Oh, just ignore him. After a few more casual words, Hugh locked the gate and said goodbye to his friend. When he rode past Dan's house, indeed, a ritual was being performed. Looking briefly, he saw offerings of fruits, cakes, and even a live rooster on the altar. The shaman performing the ritual was Master Victor, a renowned sorcerer in the area. Whenever there was a major offering or ritual, he was always invited. Hugh, having never believed in spiritual or ghostly matters since childhood, just offered a forced smile, shook his head, and continued riding his bike. By the end of the day, when he returned home, although he wasn't invited to the wedding party, he still had 500,000 dong for 2 half-days' work, an unexpectedly good income. As he rode his bike home, whistling, the first place he passed was Dan's house. Looking inside, Hugh saw that all the doors were locked from the outside. The yard was still quite messy with scattered salt, rice, and burnt paper money. As he got closer to his own house, he glanced towards Mr. Nine's house and saw a group of 6 or 7 people coming out, including Matt. Hugh waved and called out. Hugh, Matt, how did it go? Did you catch ink yet? Hearing his name, Matt looked up and puzzled said, No, we couldn't find him. I don't know where he's hiding. But it's true, it's as if he's vanished without a trace. No one saw him today. And I don't know if it's because of Dan's story or not, but Mrs. Nine is starting to believe that ink has become a spirit now. She said last night she heard Ink howling, and when she came out, he was standing right in the yard. She thought he had come back. But before she could call Mr. Nine, Ink vanished in a flash. Don't you think that's too far-fetched? Hugh chuckled at this. That's absurd, so what's Mr. Nine planning to do now? Matt, he doesn't know either. I'm busy tomorrow, so I won't be able to help with the search. Hugh, yeah, me too. Sometimes I think Ink was smart enough to reincarnate, so he ran away somewhere else and became a stray dog now. Matt, maybe so. All right, I'm going home to take care of things. See you around. When you're free, let's meet up for coffee. Hugh agreed. The night grew late. This was the second night Lena wasn't home. Hugh started to feel a bit bored. He scrolled through his phone, then watched TV. Looking at the clock, it was past 11 o'clock. So, Hugh checked all the doors and went to his room to rest. Tomorrow, he would go to the district town to dismantle the wedding canopy after the ceremony. However, just as he was about to lie down, Hugh heard loud sounds of motorbikes and agonizing cries from outside. This made him jump up. What's going on? Who's crying? He strained his ears and realized the crying person was probably Mrs. Nine, his neighbor. He immediately got out of bed, ran outside, opened the door, and looked towards Mr. Nine's house. Indeed, many people had gathered there, and Mrs. Nine's cries were even clearer. Curious, he slipped on his sandals and rushed over. As he approached the steel gate, he whispered to someone standing nearby, "What happened?" Someone, Tom, Mr. Nine's son, came home and his dog was poisoned. He was rushed to the medical station for emergency treatment, but it was too late, so he didn't make it. Hugh, what? Tom was poisoned. I don't know. I just heard a rumor that he was trying to use poison bait to catch ink and accidentally became a victim. Hugh, my goodness. Hugh pushed through the crowd, walked towards Mrs. Nine's house and called out, "Mrs. Nine, what's wrong, Auntie?" Mrs. Nine, Hugh, Tom. Hugh, Auntie, calm down. What happened? Tell me. Mrs. Nine, after he came back from searching with everyone, I saw him go into his room. I called him for dinner, but he didn't come out. I thought about it, but he didn't say anything. A moment later, he grabbed a bag and ran outside. His father called him, telling him to eat, but he said he'd eat later. He also said he had found a way to catch ink and that tonight would yield results. After saying that, he got on his bike and rode off. His father and I thought he went to his friends' houses to get help. But a little while later, a group of people who set fishing nets at night came back and said Tom was lying unconscious in the swamp, covered in mud. And inside the bag he was carrying were several packets of dog poison. It seems he intended to use it to bait Ink. But I told him, Ink has become a spirit. How can you trap it? Now he's possessed and harmed like this. My goodness. Hugh, so where is Tom now? Mrs. Nine, he's at the medical station. Mr. Nine and a few others are completing the paperwork to take him to the town medical station. Around 1 a.m., an ambulance stopped crookedly at the gate. Despite the late hour, curious onlookers gathered. From inside the ambulance, Mr. Nine emerged, looking distraught. Right behind him were several nurses and attendants, carefully carrying Tom's body. Witnessing this scene, Mrs. Nine cried out once more. Mrs. Nine, my God, Tom, why did you leave your mother and father like this, my son? Get up and look at me. Of course, Tom was now just a lifeless body. Not stopping there, Mrs. Nine continued to wail, then turned a furious gaze towards her husband. Mrs. Nine, have your eyes been opened now? Why didn't you listen to Master Victor, huh? Facing his wife's accusations, Mr. Nine could only remain silent. He bowed his head before his son's body. As for Hugh, he was very curious about what Mrs. Nine had just said. However, because he wasn't a family member, he could only suppress his questions and, along with the others, helped with the preparations for Tom's funeral. As they carried the unfortunate man's body into the house, Mrs. Nine whispered, "Could someone please call Master Victor for me? Hurry." A moment later, Master Victor arrived. Looking at Tom and Mr. and Mrs. Nine, the master frowned and shook his head. "I told you, but you didn't believe me. Now a great tragedy has occurred." Mrs. Nine then stepped forward and knelt down. "Master, I apologize, Master. I beg you please save our family." Master Victor looked at Mr. Nine. "And you, sir, are you still chasing after it?" Mr. Nine stammered. "Could this really be true? I thought Tom fell into the swamp himself, not that he put dog poison in his own mouth." Master Victor, "I told you, you are but mere mortals, you cannot catch it with ordinary methods. Now the consequences are right before your eyes, someone has died. But it won't stop here. Ink will not rest until everyone pays the price." Mrs. Nine, "All right, Master, please do us a favor and help us. Tom is already gone. I don't want to see any more grief." Master Victor sighed. "All right then. For now, focus on preparing Tom's vegetarian funeral. As for Ink, I'll deal with that later. But can you tell me how many people participated in the slaughter of Ink that day? Because it wasn't just your family. The others, more or less, were also involved, like Dan. He was bitten by Ink and has been having terrifying nightmares ever since. This morning, I performed an exorcism for him and told him and his wife to temporarily take refuge somewhere else. As for the others, I don't know yet, so please ask them if they can come here." Mr. Nine looked up, scanning the crowd outside, then stopped his gaze on Hugh. "Hugh, come here for a moment, son." Hugh heard him, but everything was too vague for him. Mr. Nine called him, and he didn't refuse, stepping away from the crowd to go inside. "Mr. Nine, Master, this is Hugh. He was also there that day. He's the one who took Dan to the medical station for first aid." "Master Victor, what's your name, young man, and where do you live?" "Hugh, my name is Hugh, and I live right next door, 2 houses down. What's going on, everyone? Can you tell me clearly? And why did Tom die?" Mrs. Nine then recounted what happened earlier that afternoon. When Mr. Nine had just finished eating and was waiting for everyone to gather to search for Ink, Dan suddenly brought Master Victor over. Dan then told Master Victor about how he kept seeing Ink, the demonic dog. Master Victor said that he had performed an exorcism for Dan that morning. Dan's body was full of dark energy, and if it wasn't done soon, who knew how dangerous it would become. Master Victor also added that since Ink was at Mr. Nine's house, the root of the problem had to be solved there. But before Master Victor could finish speaking, Mr. Nine shook his head and waved his hand, refusing. He said that a dog biting someone and running away wasn't serious enough to call a shaman. Not only did he speak, but he also clenched his fist, threatening to hit Master Victor, even kicking out both Master Victor and Dan, forcing them to leave. Before leaving the gate, Master Victor warned them, "Believe it or not, but for now, don't send anyone to look for Ink anymore, especially at night. I will find a way to deal with it myself. Mrs. Nine, recounting this, glared at her husband. Mrs. Nine, it's all your fault. Why are you so stubborn? Mr. Nine, will you stop it? It seems Mr. Nine could no longer keep his composure in the face of his wife's scolding. He gritted his teeth. Go on, act as if I wanted Tom to die. How was I supposed to know ink had become a spirit? Master Victor then raised his hand to stop them. If you two want to argue, do it another time. Right now, the situation is critical. Saying this, he turned to Hugh. Young Hugh, from that day until now, have you noticed anything strange? Hugh, strange, what do you mean, Master? I don't understand. Master Victor, perhaps you were lucky not to have directly intended to harm ink, so it hasn't sought you out yet. But in my opinion, for your safety, you should perform a ritual. As Hugh hesitated, Mrs. Nine whispered, Hugh, don't refuse. Look at my son, Tom. At this point, whether you believe or not, you must believe it, son. It's urgent, Hugh, you should go. Just then another person appeared. Matt. He walked in, looking pale and sweaty, his face covered in a sheen of perspiration. Hugh, Matt, is that you? Matt, it's me. I just heard about Tom, so I rushed over. Master Victor, I think it's my turn now. Master Victor, what do you mean? Matt, I just dreamt of ink. Master Victor, what, are you serious? Matt, yes, it's true. Just now I was going to sleep early so I could go fishing at midnight. I had only just closed my eyes for a moment when I heard dogs barking loudly. I thought it was my own dogs, but when I opened my eyes, I found myself in Mr. Nine's house, and the barking was coming from ink. He was standing on the straw pile, standing on two legs, and his eyes were glowing red. I looked into his eyes, and my hands and feet went numb. I couldn't move. Just as I didn't know what to do, he just crouched and lunged at me. I saw him bite down on one of my arms, and blood spurted out everywhere. Hugh, you have to believe me. I used to laugh when Dan told me his story, but now I believe it, Master Victor. Please save me. Master Victor, all right. For now, let's all focus on Tom's funeral here. As for the exorcism and catching ink, I will figure that out later. Hugh now felt utterly bewildered, because even his close friend Matt now believed that ink had become a spirit. Master Victor then began to don his ritual attire and told Mr. and Mrs. Nine to prepare a basin of warm water for him. When everything was ready, Master Victor used a small towel soaked in water to wipe Tom's body clean. Next, he took a talisman leaf from his bag and affixed it to the crown of the body's head. After doing this, he let out a sigh. I have just cleansed Tom's body. Now, prepare a bowl of plain rice, add an egg, and place a pair of chopsticks in it as an offering. At the same time, everyone should order a coffin. By 5 a.m. tomorrow, we will perform the shrouding ceremony. The funeral will begin at 6 a.m., and the burial must be completed this afternoon. Mrs. Nine, hearing this, immediately asked, Master, why such a rush? Master Victor nodded. It must be done early to perform the exorcism ritual. Furthermore, the longer it's delayed, the more unclean things will come, causing bad luck. From now on, you probably understand, don't you? Mrs. Nine then began to sob and wail. My God, why is my son suffering like this? Mrs. Nine seemed unable to control her emotions, and a nearby relative came to support her. After his instructions, Master Victor went outside under the awning, took out a pack of cigarettes, and lit one. At that moment, Hugh approached him, sat down, and asked curiously, Master Victor, I have something I'd like you to clarify. Master Victor, what is it? Hugh, I've been listening to everything, but I'm still curious as to how ink became a spirit. I'm a neighbor of Mr. Nine and often visit. I've always seen Ink as a gentle, intelligent dog, and he's very good at guarding the house. Master Victor then nodded. Don't think that animals don't have spiritual energy, young man. They have it all. The smarter and longer-lived an animal is, the stronger its spiritual energy becomes. And Ink's case is special. I've looked into it and learned that Ink often wandered around the graveyard, scavenging for food and looking for offerings left behind. Because it stayed there for too long, a malevolent spirit gradually took residence inside it. If it were just raised and treated as a normal pet, nothing would have happened. But when there is an intention to harm it, that malevolent spirit emerges from its host and turns Ink into a spirit. I don't know how to explain it fully for you to understand, young man, but that's roughly how it is. Even pigs and buffaloes have been known to have such incidents. After Master Victor finished speaking, Hugh sighed. Oh, I really didn't know that until now. If I were to perform such a ritual, what would I need to prepare, Master? And how much would it cost? Master Victor? I can't say for sure yet, but I estimate at least 5 million dong, because I need money to buy the ingredients for the talismans and written prayers. Only those things can dispel Ink's evil energy. Hugh, 5 million dong, that's really not a small amount for me. Is there a gentler, less costly way? Master Victor, you want it cheaper. There are ways, but let me explain that later. Right now, too many things are happening at once, and I'm afraid I won't be able to think it through properly. Hugh, yes, I'll put all my trust in you, Master. After saying that, Hugh stood up and continued to help everyone set up the canopy and curtains in Mr. Nine's living room to create enough space for a funeral hall. Near dawn, a coffin was delivered. Seeing his son's body placed inside, Mrs. Nine wailed once more. Of course, Tom couldn't wake up to answer her questions. As everyone helped, Hugh suddenly remembered he had work to do and would only be able to rest for about 2 or 3 hours before he had to leave. So Hugh said goodbye to everyone. As he left Mr. Nine's house, his mind couldn't shake the thoughts related to Ink. When he got home, he immediately lay down on the bed, muttering to himself, maybe I shouldn't bother because I didn't directly intend to give Ink a send-off. Besides, I often came over and gave him food, so he probably wouldn't target me. Thinking this, Hugh decided not to ask Master Victor to perform the ritual to save money. However, after only just dozing off for a moment, he again saw himself being chased by Ink. Waking up with a start, Hugh panted as if the dream had been real. Looking down at his arms and legs, he saw goosebumps all over his skin. Good heavens, this is terrifying. Has Ink come for me? Just then, Hugh heard the sound of a vehicle and the familiar creak of the gate, as if Lena had returned. Without hesitation, he jumped out of bed and ran out. Indeed, Lena had returned. She looked quite tired and sleepy. Seeing her husband, Lena immediately asked, "You're awake, honey. Are you not working today?" Hugh, Lena, something terrible has happened. Lena, what is it? Oh, it looks like there's a big gathering at Mr. Nine's house today. Is there a party over there? Hugh, Lena, Tom has passed away. Lena, what? Who passed away? Tom, Mr. Nine's son. Lena, my goodness, how did he die? Hugh clicked his tongue. It's a long story, dear. Come inside and I'll tell you. As the couple sat in the living room, Hugh began to recount the story. Lena listened with her mouth agape. After her husband finished speaking, she frowned and interrupted. I told you so. What's so good or healthy about it that you insisted on getting involved? And now what? 6 people are already gone? Calm down, dear. I don't think it's that serious. Ink usually likes you, and you haven't done anything to him yet. Hugh, I was thinking of not doing the ritual. It's too expensive, 5 million dong is a lot, and now it might be even more. Lena, honey, just do it. 5 million or even 50 million, we have to do it. Are you saving money at a time like this? What if something happens to you? I don't want to become a widow. Hugh, oh, why are you saying such ominous things? Lena, what ominous things? I'm telling you, just do the ritual. Consider it an offering to replace you. Faced with his wife's stubborn and fierce determination, Hugh could only sigh and nod. I know. A moment later, the funeral drums from Mr. Nine's house echoed, announcing that Tom's funeral ceremony had officially begun. Hugh stood up, but before he could step outside, Lena called out, "Where are you going now?" Hugh, to offer condolences for Tom. Lena, no, things are chaotic over there now, just stay home. What if something happens to you? Hugh, oh come on, it's broad daylight now. Lena, broad daylight or not, just stay home for me, Lena said, sobbing. And so Hugh had to obey his wife once more. Throughout that day, he paced back and forth, constantly looking towards his neighbor's house. When he heard the sound of gongs accompanying Tom's body being taken to the graveyard for burial, Hugh could only watch. And then, when darkness fell, Lena, after somehow talking to Master Victor, invited him into their home for a discussion. After a brief explanation and divination, Master Victor made his pronouncement. Master Victor, I see that your financial situation is not well, young couple. Your case, young Hugh, is also not too severe, so I will only charge 5 million dong. However, you two must absolutely follow my instructions. Prepare a live rooster, along with some cakes, fruits, and paper money. Arrange a good quantity of them piled up. At exactly 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, I will come to perform the ritual. After the ritual, you two should prepare to leave and take refuge somewhere for a week. You can go to your maternal or paternal relative's house, anywhere, as long as you don't stay here. Do you understand, young Hugh? Hugh, yes, I understand, Master. Master Victor? All right then. Now I have to return to Mr. Nine's house to perform a ritual there. Their family's case is the most severe. If not handled carefully, both husband and wife might follow their son. We can't let that happen. Hugh, yes, Master. I entrust everything to you. After Master Victor left, Lena began preparing the items he had requested. From that day on, the couple closed their doors early and even turned off all the lights, hiding in their bedroom. Seeing his wife lying with her back to the wall, Hugh hugged her and whispered, "Are you angry with me?" Lena, angry about what? You never listened to me. Do you think I'm old-fashioned and uneducated, not as good as your friends? Hugh, hey, why are you talking like that? I never intended to think that way, and I never expected things to turn out like this. Now I know I was wrong. From now on, if you say one thing, I'll listen. If you say two, I'll listen immediately, and I won't argue with you anymore. Lena, really? Hugh, really, I promise to listen carefully. Lena, oh, stop swearing, just be happy. Now go to sleep. We'll wake up early tomorrow for the ritual. Luckily, it's only 5 million dong. After the ritual, we'll still have a bit left over for Tet preparations. And those kumquat trees of yours, sell them to make up for the losses, okay? This year, no gambling or partying like every other year, all right? Hugh, agreed. After this conversation, the atmosphere between the couple gradually became more relaxed. A somewhat peaceful night passed. As the sun peeked out, the ritual altar had already been set up by Hugh and Lena. Master Victor arrived quite punctually. He looked around and nodded. The preparations are quite good. He took out a sheet of paper from his bag and handed it to Hugh. Now, take this, turn it over, and write your full name, date of birth, and current address on the back. Make sure it's accurate, okay? I won't be responsible if there are any mistakes. Hugh, yes, Master, rest assured. After Hugh finished writing, Master Victor officially began the ceremony. He stood in the middle of the yard, eyes closed, muttering incantations. After completing a round, he approached the altar, took the bowl of salt and rice, and began to scatter it around. Even the paper money and votive offerings shared the same fate. Hugh then remembered the messy scene in Dan's yard the other day. Finally, to conclude the ritual, Master Victor took out a knife and approached the castrated rooster. He plunged the knife into its neck, and red blood spurted out. It was a bit unsettling as he smeared the blood on his own face. His expression became fierce, as if some spirit had possessed him. After nearly 10 minutes, Master Victor's entire body trembled. He then placed the knife on the altar, panting. "It's done. Give me some water to wash my face, please." Hugh, yes, sir. Coming right up, Master, so it's done now, right? Master Victor, it's done. You two can clean up now and then go hide for a week. When you come back, if you're diligent, boil lime leaves and pomelo leaves with water, and use that solution to wash your entire house to cleanse it. Hugh, yes, sir, I understand. As for Lena, she took out the prepared envelope and placed it on the table. Lena, Master, this is 5 million dong, our payment. Master Victor, thank you, young couple. After a few more instructions, he left, heading back to Mr. Nine's house to perform another ritual. 3 days passed. Lena and Hugh were now staying at a relative's house on Lena's maternal side. Their story of taking refuge due to fear of the demonic dog wasn't shared, leaving the relatives confused. In fact, the women had begun to strictly forbid their husbands from eating dog meat. In this rural area, dog meat was considered a delicacy. Consequently, the debate about whether to eat it or not became a heated topic of discussion every day. As for Hugh, he was sitting on a bench, killing time, when his phone rang. The caller was Mr. Mark, a boss who bought scrap materials, someone Hugh knew well, so he immediately picked up. Hugh, hello, Mr. Mark, are you free now? Hugh, yes, I'm free this afternoon. I've had some personal errands for a few days, so I haven't been working and I'm itching to do something. Do you have any work for me? Mr. Mark, I called you to tell you to come to work. I have too many goods in my warehouse. I need someone to sort them and load them onto the truck. I've called a few people, but it's still not enough, so I thought of you. If you can, come over this afternoon. I'll pay you 400,000 dong. That's a priority, usually it's only 203,000,000. Hugh, yes, thank you, Mr. Mark, I'll be there. Mr. Mark, all right then. The call ended, and Hugh was overjoyed. But then he suddenly remembered that Mr. Mark's warehouse was right next to Cam Lai Village, only about 600 meters from his house. And of course, Hugh didn't want to miss this job opportunity. He only told Lena that he was going to work in the district town. By late afternoon, it was starting to get dark. Hugh had finished his work at Mr. Mark's scrap material warehouse. After getting paid, he planned to stop by the market on his way home to buy something nice for his wife. However, before he could carry out this plan, Hugh's eyes caught sight of someone he knew, Dan. He was driving his moped into the village. Hugh thought to himself, come to think of it, since the incident, I still haven't apologized to Dan. At this thought, he completely forgot about having to take refuge and simply ran after Dan, hoping to talk to him. After following for a while, Hugh saw Dan stop, but it was in front of Matt's house. Even more surprisingly, Master Victor was also there. The three of them, as if by prior arrangement, walked inside. Hugh's heart pounded. He immediately stopped his bike and went inside. Normally, he would announce himself politely. However, partly because Matt was now a close friend, Hugh just walked straight in. And it was this action that allowed him to overhear the entire conversation among the three men. And in that conversation, a shocking truth was revealed. There was no demonic dog at all. This was all a scheme by Matt, Dan, Master Victor, and even Tom. Indeed, there was no mistake. Tom was the mastermind behind this plan. He originally had a stable job, but he squandered all his earnings on gambling, drinking, and other vices. Tom knew his parents had a savings book with 1 billion dong, so he wanted to find a way to get his hands on it. Every time he asked for money to start a business, Mr. and Mrs. Nine would refuse. According to the original plan, they would let Ink bite Dan, then let Ink run away. After that, they would spread rumors and stories about Ink becoming a spirit to trick Mr. and Mrs. Nine into performing an exorcism. However, Mr. Nine disagreed. Not only that, but internal strife arose within the group. Specifically, Dan overheard Matt subtly talking to someone else on the phone, saying that after the plan succeeded, he wouldn't share the money with anyone and would run away with all of it. The remaining people would surely not dare to reveal the truth. So, Dan immediately devised another plan. He told Tom that they now had to use strong measures to make Mr. and Mrs. Nine believe. According to this, they would make a type of dog poison that wasn't highly toxic. If eaten, it would only cause vomiting and a fever. After being rushed to the emergency room, Tom would pretend to be insane, and Master Victor would handle the rest. Tom heard this plan, found it plausible, and agreed to follow it. However, he didn't realize that the dog poison that Dan and Matt prepared was actually a highly deadly poison. After Tom died, the plan continued. Of course, the 1 billion dong would now only be divided among 3 people. And today, they had gathered here to carry out the final part of the plan. Matt had secretly recaptured Ink and hidden him in his house. As for Master Victor, he had an agreement with Mr. and Mrs. Nine. If he performed the ritual and destroyed Ink, Mr. Nine would agree to pay him. Matt, Dan, how's Ink? Have you dealt with him yet? Dan, of course, you can rest easy. I gave him tranquilizers, then used a pestle to smash his skull until it was broken. How could he still be alive? Tonight, Master, just bring his body to Mr. Nine's house, boldly, like Vo Tong killing a tiger. At this, everyone burst into laughter. As for Hugh, who had been listening to everything from the beginning, his legs felt like jelly, and he could barely stand. He truly couldn't believe that the people he had always thought were simple, honest villagers would do such cruel and cold-hearted things for money. Perhaps it was because he had lost his composure, but he stumbled backward, bumping into a potted plant and knocking it to the ground. The noise startled the 3 men inside. Matt was the first to step out. Of course, he was surprised to see Hugh. Matt, oh Hugh, what are you doing here? Master Victor also interjected. Young Hugh, have you forgotten you were supposed to be taking refuge? Before Master Victor could finish speaking, Hugh growled, Stop it, I've heard everything. How could you dare to do such things? Tom was killed by you people. Matt then stepped forward, furrowed his brows, and whispered, Hugh, calm down, there's still time. If you heard everything, you'd understand that Tom died because of his greed. He deserved it. And if you agree to turn a blind eye and let it go, I'll return the 5 million dong Master Victor took from your wife and you. Plus, I'll give you some extra capital. With this money in your hands, you and your wife will have a prosperous Tet this year. But Hugh shook his head. No, I don't care about your dirty money. You people just wait. I'm going to report this to the police. There's no one here. Dan, you dare? Dan said, bending down to pick up a broken piece of the ceramic pot. Hugh, don't force us. There's no one around here now. How far do you think you can run? Hugh, what are you going to do? Matt then smirked. Why are you asking so many questions? Think clearly, Tom wasn't a good person anyway. Just listen to us. But Hugh's eyes were no longer on the three men. His attention had shifted to the corner of the opposite yard. Dan, what are you looking at? Matt, Dan, and Master Victor all looked, and then gasped in shock, because standing right there was Ink. Dan, why you said you dealt with him, but how is he still standing there? They didn't know. Ink's face was covered in blood, with a deep gash on his head, showing a crack in his skull and blood splattered everywhere. But somehow, he stood firm, his eyes fixed on Dan, full of hatred. Dan, do you still have tranquilizers? But what happened next was too fast for Dan, Matt, or Master Victor to react. Ink suddenly lunged, biting and tearing at each of them. My God, kill it, kill it. Hugh was not attacked, so he seized the opportunity to run out onto the main road, desperately shouting, Help, is anyone there? Help! At this point, a few people started to appear, but when they ran closer, they were horrified to see Matt, Dan, and Master Victor lying sprawled on the ground, covered in wounds all over their arms, legs, and faces. Ink, meanwhile, lay motionless, its entire body stiff. Perhaps it had used all its life force to fight one last battle. Or perhaps something else had possessed its body. On that same day, Ink's 3 victims were taken to the medical station for emergency treatment. However, despite medical care and vaccinations, all 3 developed extremely high fevers. They were delirious, their bodies trembling uncontrollably, and when they briefly regained consciousness, they all whimpered and pleaded. The next morning, despite the emergency efforts of the medical team, all 3 men successively took their last breath amidst agonizing screams. News began to spread, saying that during Master Victor's ritual to exorcise the demonic dog, it had turned on him and killed him. Dan and Matt, who were assisting in the ritual, suffered the same fate. The villagers viewed the 3 men as saviors who had sacrificed themselves to eradicate the evil. As for Hugh, he had no desire to reveal the truth. Even if Hugh were to speak out now, there would be no one to corroborate his story. But at least, he felt that there was a happy ending here, because Mr. and Mrs. Nine would no longer lose money. The only thing was, he didn't know how lonely and sorrowful the 2 elderly parents would be in the years to come without their only son. Sometimes, not speaking the truth is the only option to minimize harm and sorrow. 2 months later, the story of the demonic dog gradually ceased to be the topic of conversation among the villagers. Instead, the atmosphere of the year-end days took over. People everywhere were busy preparing for Tet. Today, Hugh was making final trims and checks before taking his kumquat trees to the district flower market to sell tomorrow morning. Overall, his kumquat trees this year bloomed on schedule and had eye-catching shapes, so Hugh was confident he would earn a good profit. After finishing his work, he turned to go inside the house, but at the same moment, Hugh's eyes involuntarily glanced towards Mr. Nine's house. Ever since the 49-day ritual for their son, the couple had locked their doors and moved away, reportedly to stay with relatives on the paternal side. Suppressing a sigh, Hugh shook his head and went inside. But if he had looked closer, he would have noticed a white shadow standing in the straw pile in Mr. Nine's yard. That shadow flickered faintly, then slowly faded away.